I told my daughter-in-law that I would not be there for Christmas, and the silence that followed felt like a storm about to break. For years I had been invisible in my own home, treated like a servant instead of the woman who built that house with her own hands. When I finally said no, I saw fear flash across her face. But what she did not understand was that my decision was only the beginning of something much bigger. My name is Evelyn Carter. I am 66 years old, and for the past 5 years I have lived like a guest in my own home. Except guests are treated with kindness and I was not. Everything changed when my son Daniel married a woman named Lauren. At first I tried to welcome her with open arms, believing that love and patience would create a peaceful family. Instead, she slowly turned my life into something I barely recognized. From the very beginning, Lauren spoke to me like I existed to serve her. She would walk into my kitchen without greeting me and start issuing instructions, as if I were hired staff. She would ask for coffee, meals, and cleaning without a hint of gratitude, and I allowed it because I believed I was protecting my relationship with my son. I told myself that keeping the peace was worth the cost, even when that cost was my dignity. Everything reached a breaking point one cold December morning when Lauren walked into the kitchen wearing an expensive red dress and a smile that never reached her eyes. She sat down like she owned the place and casually announced that 25 members of her family would be staying at my house for Christmas. She listed names as if she were planning a simple dinner, then calmly explained that I would handle all the cooking, cleaning, and preparation. As she spoke, memories flooded my mind of every time I had been taken for granted. I remembered cooking elaborate meals while she took credit, cleaning up after her gatherings while she slept, and feeling like a shadow in the very place that should have been my sanctuary. When she finished talking, she looked at me with expectation, waiting for me to agree like I always had. Instead, I looked directly at her and told her something she never expected to hear. I said that everything would be perfect for her family because I would not be there. I told her I was going on vacation and that she could handle everything herself. The shock on her face was almost unreal, as if she could not process the idea that I had finally said no. She immediately panicked, insisting that I could not leave because everything had already been planned. When she tried to argue, I reminded her that it was my house and that she had no right to make decisions without consulting me. That was the first time I saw her lose control, and for once I felt calm instead of intimidated. When Daniel came home, she rushed to him and painted me as unreasonable. He walked into the kitchen with frustration written across his face and asked why I was being difficult. Hearing my own son dismiss my feelings like that felt colder than anything his wife had ever said. In that moment, something inside me settled into a firm, unshakable resolve. I explained that I was not being dramatic, that I was simply done being treated without respect. He tried to convince me to reconsider, pointing out that it was Christmas and that her family was already expecting to come. I told him they were adults and could figure it out themselves. For the first time, I refused to carry the burden they had placed on me for years. That night, while they argued downstairs, I sat alone in my room and prepared for the next step of my plan. Months earlier, I had discovered something that changed everything. While cleaning Daniel's office, I found financial documents that revealed Lauren had been hiding massive debts, opening credit accounts in his name, and spending money they did not have. The more I investigated, the worse it became. She had been lying about her income, exaggerating their financial stability, and even telling her relatives that our family was far wealthier than reality. She had built an entire illusion, and I realized that I had been unknowingly supporting it by making everything look perfect from the outside. I quietly protected myself by moving my savings, securing my home legally, and contacting key members of her family with carefully chosen information. I did not accuse her directly, but I made sure they saw enough to start asking questions. By the time Christmas approached, everything was set in motion. The morning I left the house felt like freedom. I packed my bags, left a simple note, and walked out without looking back. I checked into a quiet hotel and turned off my phone, finally enjoying a moment where no one expected anything from me. For the first time in years, I felt like I belonged to myself again. It did not take long for the chaos to begin. Calls and messages flooded in, filled with confusion and desperation. They had no food, no plan, and no idea how to manage the situation they had created. Meanwhile, Lauren's family began arriving, expecting a perfect holiday and instead walking into complete disorder. By the next day, the truth started unraveling. Her relatives confronted her about the financial discrepancies, the lies, and the image she had carefully constructed. What was supposed to be a celebration turned into a tense confrontation where every secret came to light. I did not need to be there to witness it because I already knew what would happen. When I finally returned home, the atmosphere had completely changed. Lauren looked exhausted and defeated, her confidence replaced by anxiety. Daniel looked shaken, as if he had finally seen something he had ignored for years. Her family stood there with serious expressions, no longer impressed by the illusion she had created. I walked in calmly, greeted everyone, and introduced my lawyer. Then I laid everything out clearly. I explained the legal protections I had put in place, the boundaries that would now exist, and the expectations moving forward. There was no anger in my voice, only certainty. I made it clear that my home would no longer be a place where I was disrespected. I told them that any relationship going forward would be built on honesty and mutual respect, or it would not exist at all. For the first time in years, every word I spoke carried weight. As I stood there, I realized something important. I had spent years believing that sacrifice was the same as love. But it is not. Real family does not demand that you lose yourself to keep others comfortable. Real family respects you. That Christmas did not turn out the way anyone expected, but for me, it was the most meaningful one I had in years. It was the moment I took back my life, my home, and my voice. And as I looked around that room, I knew one thing with absolute certainty. I would never allow anyone to turn me into a servant in my own story again.